First thing first, Ruben, how are you?
I'm good, yeah. Kind of a little bit drunk because I decided I've been doing press for a few days, so it's like today I thought I'd get drunk. It's in like a nice hotel and stuff. So.
Well, you have said in the past that interviews aren't your favorite part of being in this music business. Does it help?
It's not. Yeah, I guess it's not my favorite, but that's only because making music's my favorite thing. Interviews aren't that bad. They're just like, sometimes it can be fun. You discover things, you know, as you're talking about your music, and you're just like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
Okay. Well, I'd like to start with, what was your first, what was your most relished new instrument you bought for the record?
I think I got a hurdy-gurdy. That was kind of cool, and that ended up on the album. I don't know how to use it yet, but I ended up just like hurdy-gurdy's this. Do you know what a hurdy-gurdy is? It's like a stringed instrument, and you kind of crank this handle, and then these wheels like run over the strings, and I thought that, and then you play keys, and it sounds a bit like, I thought that buying it would make it sound like a string section, like I'd be able to do like orchestral things with this, but ended up just being like this weird drone thing that I used on the album, but I still like it. Maybe one day I'll be able to play it properly. But
why did you buy it?
Because I wanted to put strings on my album, like I wanted to put orchestral strings on it, and I didn't know didn't know anybody that played the cello that I could get in touch with. So, but in the end, what I ended up using for the cello sound was I detuned my acoustic guitar and played it with like a violin bow. So I ended up doing that instead.
Well, because I think on previous records as well, you play most instruments yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it a very solitary thing for you to create an album?
It has been so far, but on this album, my brother actually played most of the, like almost all of the drums on it, and played about half of the piano parts. So it was cool. I flew him out for about 4 weeks, and we worked really hard on the record, and he wrote some of it and stuff. And the bass player in my band, Jake, played one of my favorite bass parts on the album. So I'm slowly starting to collaborate with people, but I still spent about 8 months just in my basement by myself, like working on the record, mixing it and stuff like that. Yeah.
If you go back, what kind of mindset did you have when you went in there?
I didn't want to make a lo-fi album. I wanted to make I thought it would be boring to make another lo-fi album. I thought it would be cool to try and use the budget to like buy some nice equipment and see if I could make a record that sounded like nicer. But I was thinking about more about the 70s, like the last two albums I was thinking about the 60s kind of sound, and on this I was thinking about the mid to late 70s and bands like things like Stevie Wonder and even like Steely Dan a little bit, like that kind of like sound. I kind of wanted to, there was like a disco sound on there as well, like a lot of things that were happening around that time. So I went into it kind of thinking that, and another record that was really important was Station to Station by David Bowie, and that whole late 70s David Bowie period was like really, I don't know, really important to thinking about it a lot and stuff.
What instigated this interest in the 70s sound?
I don't know, I think it's like logical. I think it's like I was thinking about the 60s, and then I think in the 2 was more about the 60s, and then the first album was more about the 60s, and then 2 was kind of like the late 60s, early 70s, and I think I just kind of progressed onto the next step, just in the way that I was learning about recording techniques and reading about like how they made records in those days. It just kind of like progresses, you know. So yeah, I just kind of ended up there, I guess.
Is there one thing maybe you can give me as an example that you've learned from those techniques?
Well, I guess one thing I learned is like that songs are still the most important part of a record. Like you can't, like it's fun to think about production and the sound of records, but like if you have good songs, like or a certain song style, you can actually produce them in a lot of different ways, and it'll still project the same emotion. So I kind of learned to stay concentrated on what is exciting for like the listener, and how like a good song is put together and a good arrangement is put together, and that's what really matters, you know. So you can have a record that is recorded kind of badly, but if it has good songs, it's fine. And if you can have a record that's recorded really well, and it'll never sound overproduced if the songs are good, you know. So, yeah.
This might be a tough question to answer then, but is there maybe, for you at least, a key element that makes a song good?
I think the way I think about it is there's like a there's like a realm that songs are from. There's like some kind of place, like a weird, mysterious kind of. Sounds so weird, but it's like a spiritual kind of realm or of some kind that songs are from, and they're either more or less from you have to David Lynch says that when he's making movies, he'll get an idea, like he's in one room and next door there's a room that has the movie in it, and he gets like he's trying to receive the ideas from the other room, and like Philip Glass says that there's an underwater river that he like taps into, and the music is in that underwater river, and he can like pull it out of the underwater river. I think it's like there's a thing that is beyond, like, you know, because I'm kind of like you know, like I write things sometimes that I think like, oh, I'm not really talented enough to write this song. This is better than what I'm able to achieve. I think if you can find that place, then you can pull things out of it that are better than what you think you're capable of.
Do you know immediately then when you get there?
Now I do, yeah. I think now I know the difference, yeah. Used to be a little bit more chaotic, the process, and sometimes you get like, sometimes your ego gets out of control and you think like, oh, I'm coming up with this stuff, and then that takes you off the path too. But yeah, now I know, like, if I get an idea, it kind of it comes out of nowhere, and I go like, oh, that's the real stuff, like that's the real deal. So there's like gold and fool's gold, and I feel like I get better at telling what stuff my ego is coming up with, and what stuff I'm getting from whatever part of that. You know, it might be your subconscious, or some people might say it's God, or like it's just somewhere else that's not like the self or whatever. And I believe it anyway. Yeah.